Well, Andrew Jimpson there, a big fan of Boris Johnson, says he will return. Well, Paul Connew, former editor of the Sunday Mirror, has also written a book about Boris Johnson, but I think takes a rather different view. So, Paul, I know you're a very strong Boris critic. Tell me why.
I don't know Boris that well, but I have encountered him over the years at various political, charity and other events. But my disillusion with Boris even dates back as far as when I was a senior exec on the News of the World, and one of my reporters was investigating his old Etonian chum Darius Guppy on a serious fraud and bogus robbery case, and Boris agreed to try to find the reporter's home address so that Guppy could have a couple of heavies go round and break a rib or...
And this is 30 years ago.
Yes, and break a rib or two. And Boris tried to get there. In the end, the attack never took place. Max Hastings, who was then, you know, his editor, disciplined him in a mild way. But I wonder if Sir Max, now one of his harshest critics, if he'd fired him, would he have history have changed? I don't know, but Boris, to me, and in the book, you know, which is Boris Johnson, Media Creation, Media Cloud, Media Casualty, with the question mark, which is the question mark's important, because I don't discount Boris returning, and Churchill was his hero, and you could say that Churchill was the ultimate comeback kid. And although we're already seeing certain newspapers almost lobbying for Boris to come back,
it's happening already.
Quite extraordinary.
It's happening already.
We're even hearing reports of a group of MPs, who must be balmy, trying to sort of see if they can move a no-confidence motion in Liz Truss to get Boris.
Well, I'm not sure I believe that.
No, I don't believe it. I believe that it's being talked about. But it will never actually come to fruition before the next election, anyway.
I mean, Paul, you've questioned his integrity, you've questioned his honesty, and you've been very consistent on this. But he became the Mayor of London. He won that. You know, he held it for a second time. He won a big majority in a general election. He is quite a successful politician, isn't he?
Boris has something which Liz Truss is going to struggle with, and that Boris has charisma. But the charisma, which was, you know, the reason he had a teflon flak jacket for so long, is now shot full of holes. Partygate, Gropegate, Wallpapergate, they all conspired. The public do not believe anymore in Boris Johnson. The polls are showing that the general public, but of course the Conservative Party membership, representing less than half of 1% of the total electorate, are still in love with him. The polls were showing they'd still rather have Boris than either Sunak or Truss. But I did actually predict on another programme on this station on Friday night that the majority, the margin of victory, would be nowhere near as big as the forecast. I said it'd be about 20 points. In fact, it was actually to be 15. And I think what happened was that as the campaign went on, Sunak did better. And the whisper is that the late votes tilted towards Sunak,
it's going to be
whereas the early votes were overwhelmingly for Liz Truss.
But very interesting, both